Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, where we believe in the universal truth that there's no such thing as coincidences or mistakes. And we are here to share our life story on that with you. My name is Deb Miller.
Hi, everybody. Susan Doyle. Nice to see you, girls.
Hello.
Hello, ladies. I'm Kristen Dean. Nice to
How's
see you.
everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Still
Looking
not
forward
nice here
to
yet, though.
All right.
looking
Well, the
forward to
countdown
coming to
begins.
FLA. Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
3 days.
Yes, indeed, you are. And by the
Dreams.
time this airs, you
We'll be
probably
back.
will have already been back in your home states for a couple weeks, but
Mm.
we'll
By the
still have a
time this
lot to talk
airs, my
about.
tan will be fading.
Not with the
Okay.
accelerant spray that you bought and
First of
that
all, rude. It's not spray, it's lotion. Okay.
Rude.
And I do mix
Coppertone
it with
4.
my sunscreen.
I was happy to see it wasn't oil because I was like, if she's gonna literally put oil on her body, she is gonna be a piece of fried bacon on the beach
Oh,
because the sun is
can't
so strong
wait.
here.
Mm.
I know. You can't
I
wait.
cannot wait.
It's gonna be fun and it's gonna be relaxing and it's gonna be all the things because we all need it. We all
We all
need
need
our
it.
girl time. Things have been
We
a little
do.
cray cray. Um,
Yeah, a little
just
bit.
busy, life busy, life situations. It is spring break here, so there's a lot going on. A lot of people
Oh my God, maybe we can go into a wet t-shirt contest.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts on that?
with your copper tone tanning oil.
Okay, the reason why I buy Coppertone is because it smells.
It does
It
smell good.
Like your
reminds
childhood.
me of childhood, and
Yeah.
I used Coppertone on my little brown babies.
Yeah.
And when I would open up that bottle and put it on their skin, I just wanted to eat them.
Mm.
It smelled so
Hmm.
good.
I
Mhm.
know.
There's something about it that is
It's
just
delicious. It is.
delish.
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
delish. And
It
then,
just, it's funny how like smells can bring you back to
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
some place in time, you know?
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I know it's so good. And Kristen will have you on your ginormous hat that's going to be literally the size of Sarasota County.
I'm not bringing that. So that hat, that can't be transported in the plane. I'm just going to
No,
bring
we're
a
gonna
little
we'll purchase it.
baseball cap.
I have been doing hat scouting for you since I found out you were coming. There are
Oh,
so many
Don't
stores
embarrass
right
me.
around here that have ginormous
hats. I need a bathing suit.
hats.
I'm bringing my shitty old bathing suit, and I plan to throw it out in Florida and bring home a new
Yes,
one.
we are going bathing suit shopping
Yeah.
because they
Okay.
probably have, I know for a fact she's got a selection down there to beat the band as opposed to up here where we
Yeah,
have
there's a lot of cute
And I
ugly
bathing
don't
suit
want
things.
one
places.
that make my nipples show.
Oh yeah, we don't need Nipplegate again.
No, we don't.
This is
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Oh,
good.
geez. This has been a week.
Okay.
It has. It has. So,
Uh, yeah.
yeah.
I've been doing a lot of self-reflection this week and talking, and the fellowship that I belong to, which is AA, we talk a lot about when we're feeling irritable and discontented, we have to take a look at ourselves and what is going on inside. And that tends to bring up a lot of um, uncomfortable feelings about things that we struggle with. And as you all know, I've been off my antidepressants for a while, and it's not easy. I'm doing fine. I'm doing really good. But what I am finding is that a lot of my past things that I thought I put to rest in the past have come up to resurface. And when that happens, I'm looking at my own personality traits or character defects that keep me from letting these emotions just flow through so that the thought and emotion starts in your head and you need it to flow through your body to release it. But when it gets stuck in the heart chakra, which is where that's when you start feeling the pain of it. So it starts in the head and it's like aggravating and anxiousness and the thought talking about. And then it goes down to the heart. And then that's where the pain comes in, the feeling of the pain from the emotion and the thought that you're feeling. So anyways, one of the things that I've been doing a lot of listening to podcasts and trying to remind myself of how this is how to process these hard emotions that keep coming up. And I was listening to Michael Singer, who he's the podcast, his podcast is and book is called The Untethered Soul. And if anybody has ever read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. He helps you kind of distinguish like a thought is just something to be recognized and looked at. It's not part of you. It's like you're looking at it from a distance and acknowledging that it's being said or it's being felt or that it's happening. But then you're just like, okay, that's all it is a thought. And you got to let it go. And it teaches you how to do that. And one of the things that he brought up was um so what I struggle with is fear. And when I'm fearful of something, I try to control it so that the outcome that I'm fearful of doesn't happen. And, but trying to control something or being a controlling human being is incredibly painful because
It's also exhausting and futile.
it's exhausting. And I was listening to this podcast. It wasn't the Michael Singer podcast, but Michael Singer shared two things with me that I'm going to share with you, but I'm going to jump back to that. But this is this woman in this podcast said the control is a way to stay safe, right? So when we're fearing a situation happening, we try to control it. But control will eat us from the inside out, and it always ends in tears. It always ends in tears when you try to control a situation. Things aren't meant to be controlled. We try to control things because we are afraid. And Michael Singer put it in a way that I could completely understand it. And he's like, picture the dog with the invisible fence. So they know what their area is that it's safe to be in. And they know as they get closer to where that invisible fence is, they're going to hear a beep beep before they hear the little zap or get the little zap. Okay. But so they get all like, oh, I want to go. There's new scents out there. So there's new smells. There's new things to see and people to meet and places to go. And then they get so excited and they get so close to the edge. And then the fear of that little zap makes them retreat and it keeps their world really small. So if we learn to just push through the fear, the pain, the whatever it is, we are going to open up our world so much larger because fear is what keeps us contained in unhealthy places or small places they don't allow. When I say small, I'm talking about like we're not allowing ourselves to grow and explore spiritually, emotionally, physically, because we're fearful of what's on that other side. And it's it is what to me equals is control is always going to equal some kind of pain because I'm only fearful of what's going to happen. But if I let fear rule my life, then I'm never going to grow into the human being I'm supposed to grow into. And all this fear is placed in me from events that happened years ago in my life, and even events that have happened in my previous life that I have carried with me. And like one of the things that Kevin and I talk about, he's like, Deb, because I am having a lot of anxiety, no, I don't want to say anxiety, uncomfortable feelings being off these meds. And he said, is it worth it? Like, is it really worth it for you to go through this? And I said, I have to go through this, or else I'm going to keep reliving this over and over again. I truly feel that this is one of the things that I have chosen from a previous life into this life that I have had to tackle. I have not been able to do it in the past. And
Mm.
so I'm here to have to push through it and learn to deal with fear and let go of things that I want to control. And it's really hard.
Mm.
It's really hard. So, and then the other thing, like I wrote down one of the another is it's so painful and hard to try to control everybody and everything all of the time. And it's just us on an unconscious level being so frightened. So we've built this armor around us that we try, and then we try to control the outcome of situations.
I think you also, when you build the suit of armor, you try to control the incoming information as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you build that suit of armor around you, um, you're trying to control the income and the outcome.
Well, yeah, because what we're like, okay, the incoming information is not, it's painful and we know
Right.
it's
So I'm
going to
not going to
hurt.
allow it to come in, therefore I don't have to do anything. If you have fooled yourself that you're controlling the information that's coming in, you're fooling yourself that by doing that you can control the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. And once if we allow that information to stop in our heart chakra, it stays there. And that's where the fear is built because we're protecting ourselves from hurt. And but Michael Singer
Oh
will
yeah.
say, he'll say, as soon as you like stop, if as soon as you are like, I'm not going to get hung up on what was that those words that were just said to me. That means nothing to me. Like you're not going to get hurt because you're not going to be able, you don't care about it anymore. So you kind of put yourself in a
Yeah.
position where, and he says, visualize yourself sitting on top of the universe looking at Earth and like being like, oh my God, I am such a little speck of nothing. And those words that were just said to me mean absolutely nothing because I'm a
Mm.
little speck of nothing, and just put everything into perspective and then it's not going to hurt so much. And then you can grow, you're open to grow spiritually. Listen, I am not even close to being able to conquer this, but it's something that has been really in my face these past couple weeks is
Well, I think once like a large percentage of using your words, tackling this is recognizing that it's happening.
yeah.
You're recognizing that you're trying to control something that's uncontrollable
Or I have no business controlling because it's
or
gonna,
solving something that's not
yeah.
solvable. It's not a problem. It's just something that's in front of you on your path.
And it's really hard when you're trying to control a somebody else's narrative of
Mhm.
what's happening.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what I meant or what I mean or what I've said
Right.
or why I did that. That's not
Right.
why. But they've already determined that that's the narrative to their story, and
Right.
that's really hard to let go of.
Yeah, I've had a situation recently where I am wrestling with that. Like that I will be the villain in the story of so many people. Um, and I know that I can't control the narrative.
Mm.
It doesn't make it any less. It gives you a little stab and it makes you sort of, do a half step like, God, I didn't really ever think about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, trying to control a narrative is equally as painful and frustrating. And, um, it's funny because it's not funny. There's so many parallels between the type of what I hear in my yoga classes and my yoga teachings as you two do in AA.
Mhm.
And, so the other day when I was in class and we were sort of getting to the end of the class, and, the instructor said, think of your thoughts as clouds on the backdrop of a really blue sky.
Mm.
And you're, the clouds, just let them pass by. Like they don't become, we bring life to our thoughts when we attach an outcome or a story to them.
Yes.
If you don't attach that to them, they are
Mm.
just thoughts that come in and go out. And so she said, I know it's going to be, I know she didn't say this particular, but she said something like it's like blue sky focus or blue sky mantra or something like that,
Mm.
where you just focus
Mhm.
on the blue sky. So I was in whatever position we we're in, and I was just visualizing sort of the clouds coming in from the right side
Mm.
and going out the left side.
Mhm.
And, you know, and it's just like you two learn in AA to um use the steps in your recovery of your addiction, but also learning to use those steps in other aspects of your life, right? So,
Mhm.
and we do the same thing in yoga. It's like it's like your yoga mat, sort of your training ground for employing these things in your life off the mat, so to speak. And
Mhm.
same thing with you guys. It's learning to employ these things outside the confines of meetings or addiction, right? So that's what I had to do the other day when I felt myself sort of going down this rabbit hole and attaching my inner peace and my peace of mind that day to the fact that like I attached some sort of worthiness to what this person said to me. And then this light bulb was like I attached to that cloud of, or that thought that was passing through. I halted it, like, oh my God, like at the end of the day, I am going to be the bad guy here. I am going to be the pariah. I am
Mm.
going to be the villain. And then it was like, and I kind of also took the narrative really down a rabbit hole with saying to myself, and it's all because I'm choosing not to tell my side of the story. But in actuality, I can't control somebody creating or coming to a conclusion
Mhm.
only having 50% or less of the
Mhm.
information. I can't control that.
Mhm.
And I have to let that go. But
Yeah.
you want to talk about like it was stuck, like there was an elephant
Mm.
standing on my chest,
Mm.
stuck right there for a very long time.
I feel like that happens a lot. And Kristen, I wonder if this happened with you with when you get divorced, and the other family who you're close with, all of a
Yeah,
sudden
Mm.
it's like,
they have this narrative about
they
you.
have a narrative. I don't know. Your situation, Kristen, is so different. You get along with everybody. You never
So
have a
it's so
bump in the road.
funny. Oh my God. I lucked out. I was thinking about that the other day. Like the things, and we already did a podcast on infidelity, but the things I did in with my relationship with my ex-husband were not very nice things. And no one judged me. Like
Mm.
I lucked out. I mean, they were like, oh, we know Ken. We understand. I remember my
Do you think
father-in-law.
nobody actually judged you, or you just didn't allow yourself to think people didn't
I
judge you?
truly thought I went to these people and I was like my father-in-law, I will never forget him saying this to me. He goes, "Sweetheart, he's my kid and he's blood, but I love you and you're like a daughter to me." And this was before we were married. And, yeah, I'm in your camp. Like he's tough.
That's
He's
great.
like his mother, he's tough, like whatever. But that's
Hmm.
neither that was so long ago. And I lucked out in that regard. Even his friends were like, they they loved me regardless of my actions. But
Good
um
for you.
Yeah, I
in
didn't
what
get
you
that.
guys were talking about, I was thinking, like, I have a couple things going on in my life right now. And Deb, I loved or maybe you said it was the podcast you were listening to about the dog that goes to the fence
Yeah.
and gets the fear. So there's a couple things in my life lately that I've had to sit in that uncomfortable heart feeling and just let the dust settle. Like, used to, I would use drugs or alcohol or whatever to get rid of that feeling, or just, and I was like,
Or just
one
not
of,
to have to feel the feeling.
I did not want to feel it. So one of these things is my job. And it's, I've talked about this on here. I'm very happy, but I had a significant dip in my job and was questioning my decision to make this recent transition, which, by the way, was the right thing to do. Of course, all signs point to yes, like the 8 ball says. But I was having an uncomfortable week. I
Mm.
was making, whatever. I'm new to the job. I was learning. I'll say I made a couple mistakes. There were like filters stuck on things and I missed stuff, like deadlines and shit. But like, everybody said to me, we're not saving lives here. But it was the feeling nobody around me made me feel like Sue was talking about, like a pariah, or that I had fucked up, you suck, none of that. It was all in here. And I had to sit with that. I had
Mm.
to sit with those feelings until they
Do you
lifted.
think it was because the situation was a reminder that you can't control everything? Like you thought you were in complete control of these things, and then something still sort of slipped through the
Yeah.
cracks, or slipped through your grip, I should say. And then you were like, and it was sort of that self-revelation of, fuck, I did it again. I thought I was in control and I'm
Um,
really not.
this has happened. I've been there for 2 months. Okay. Just over 2 months. And that's exactly how I felt, Sue.
Yeah.
Like how many times, like, oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Like the little engine that could. And, and then I'm like, last week I was like, I want to go back to what I know and what I've known for 15 years because it's the easier, softer way.
Hmm.
So, but nope, that's not, and invariably something shifts, like just when
Yeah.
we think we've had it, something shifts. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
so, but I don't think that there's really anything, I don't live with a significant other like the two of you do. And Deb said this on a podcast recently, nothing will bring out my issues more than a relationship where even when I don't cohabitate with someone.
Like your
So,
character defects, nothing brings them out
oh,
more than when being in a relationship.
nothing. Like I could say,
Yeah.
I control my kids. I have my son is off today, and I always try to control, like, hey, let's do your taxes. Let's go get, do this. Let's go do that. I have to just stop that crap. He's an
Hmm.
adult. Like it's,
Hmm.
whatever. But the feeling, like sitting in that icky feeling, sitting in the ick and just letting the cloud go by and focusing on the blue. I love
Yeah, and
that.
that just it's your th like I can relate to what Sue's talking about because when I was getting divorced, I was in my full-on addiction.
Mm.
And so it was really easy for other for people that, for them to blame me for the demise of the marriage. But they didn't know what was going on behind closed doors.
Correct.
I was yelling and screaming and telling anybody who would listen, like, and it just got to nobody. It was like, because I had a drug problem,
You're the
I was the
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, and that was really hard for me to come to terms with. It really was. But then I had to understand that that was his family. They were going to stand by him. They were going to listen to what he had to say rather than what I had to say, because I was the one who was getting arrested for the drug use. And so it was easy for me to be a scapegoat. And when I got clean and sober and started doing the work on myself, and I realized, of course they're going to side with him. That's his family. And
Mm-hmm.
if Hunter was in the same situation, and even though if I knew that was having, he was part of the problem, at the end of the day, I am still going to be take Hunter's side. I'm not his side necessarily, but I'm going to support him and stand by him. It's just what's going to happen. And we would do it with all of our
Right.
children. So it's like, okay, now as time went on and things started to reveal themselves, and I remained clean and sober and was raising Hunter in a really, healthy environment. And my ex-husband was not, he was falling
Mm.
apart. Then it was like, oh,
Then his addiction came out.
Right.
His
yeah.
problems.
So it
Yeah.
all
Right,
comes
but
out
then
in
there
the
was
wash.
also it, it was the path revealed itself in the sense that Debbie didn't have to tell her side of the story.
Right.
It will reveal
It
It will
itself.
will
be
reveal
Do you
revealed.
know what I
itself.
mean? And it's like that desire to tell your side of the story is part of the control thing. It's like you
Yeah.
want to control the narrative. You want to tell your side of the story so people will
Mhm.
make informed decisions. And you know what I mean? And it's
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
It
at
doesn't
the end of the
matter.
day, it doesn't
Exactly.
matter. It
And
doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't matter. And everybody, especially because everybody processes information differently.
Hmm.
So that you can put the same exact story in front of 10 different people, and five of them are going to be like, oh, she's the problem. And five of them are going to be like, he's the problem. And it's all because of the way they process information. And you cannot change in there. Just look at the politics today.
Mhm.
Right.
You
You're right.
cannot talk somebody into believing that, they should be a Democrat or a Republican. Like, it's that blue, yellow. What was it? The blue, yellow dress, the one, that
Oh
dress on
yeah.
Facebook that people were
Yeah.
like, what
It's
color is this? And some
yeah.
people were like, it's clearly orange. And other people were
Yeah.
like, it's blue.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you would
I
see
remember that.
that's
Hmm.
all the way our brain
Yeah.
is wired. So you're just
Yeah.
wasting your
Yeah.
breath if you're trying to control somebody else's narrative. It's just not going to work. The only thing you can do, especially I feel like if you're in a relationship where you're clearly seeing, you're not able to see straight, you just have to learn to compromise. If you're
Yes.
not going to be able
Right.
to see the things in the
Right.
same way and it is causing a rift, then that's where the compromise comes in. And it's okay,
Yeah.
clearly we're not going to ever see this the same way. So let's
Agree
compromise
to
on what will
disagree.
work best for both
Right.
of us.
Right. But it all leads back to, I guess, for me, it all, just like what you brought up in the beginning, Deb, is it all leads back to fear. Like you feel, you don't want to be the bad guy in the story. You fear what people are going
Mhm.
to think.
Yeah, of
You
course.
don't want to be the person who made somebody have that uncomfortable conversation for fear that they're going to judge you or they're going to walk out of your life or I mean the list goes
Oh,
on and
fear.
on and on. And right before we turned the camera and the recording on, Kristen said, because again there's such parallels between
Mhm.
AA and the type of yoga that I do and follow. And Kristen said, "Have you ever heard of what people think about you is none of your business?" I said, "Oh, all the time." Yes, I've heard it over and
Yeah.
over again, but it's really true. It's like if you can live by that,
Yeah.
that fear dissipates and that need or desire or longing or yearning to control first the narrative, then what comes in, and then what goes out,
Mhm.
it's a complete game changer. And
Yeah.
That
yeah, I mean, it's true.
I hated that. I hated. I
Hate
never
that
really
saying.
understood it. Like I was like, what do you mean? What people say about me is none of my business. They're talking about me. But that's not the point at all. The
No.
point is it's none of your business because you're never going to be able to change their narrative.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
you're just going to be
And they don't care about
carrying your
your
hair.
side of the
Exactly.
story.
They
They don't
don't.
care about you saying something to quote unquote right the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
They
that. I
don't.
remember when my last relationship ended, I just kind of I was very close with his family, and they're a lovely family. And I disconnected from all of them
Yeah.
because um, my ex was not, I didn't know what he was saying. I don't know whether he was mother effing me. And the bottom line is, no one came at me with negative, you this, you that. Everything was nice. But I was like, you know what? Let him say whatever he wants. And to
Yeah.
I don't speak to them, and that's my choice. I have ignored, you know, occasional reach outs because I don't want to be a part of that, whether or not that's right. But I don't want to get into that he said, she said thing. I remember doing that at the very beginning with his aunt. And I was like, she said, well, she's been married for many, many years to her husband, and they have a pretty good marriage. But she's like, the relationships are about communication. And I'm like, that's the least of our fucking problems, lady.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to,
Mm.
and I don't care. I mean, at this point, I don't care. I never cared what they thought. And like,
I always thought when I got divorced, my ex-husband's family had a collective sigh, like, oh, thank God she's gone.
thank God she's gone. The father of your children?
Yeah. No, like I always thought like his mother and his sister and the
We're
whole
like,
family were
phew.
like finally exhaled because I was no longer like, oh, thank God. But
Oh,
nothing, but like not like I never allowed myself to go to the point where they made me the
the villain.
problem. I just,
Yeah.
it was pretty clear that they thought I was always the problem.
And you
And
know
you're
what?
okay with
Those
that.
people, I think, like, I truly believe if we're doing the next right thing, or we're doing the right thing in life, we're living rightly, what people think of us is none of our business.
You're right.
If
You're
somebody
right.
is going to be, it's like when you're driving on the road, right? Like, I get irritated with people on the road. I'm sure people get irritated with me on the road, but I don't know what this person in front of me that's driving 10 miles under the speed limit, I don't know if they just got some horrific news
Yeah.
that, or whatever. I don't know what's going on in their life. So
Right.
who
Don't
am
yell at them.
I to ruin their day by tailgating them? Like, whatever. That's the
Or
kind of,
yelling at them. It's like that's somebody's
yes,
nana that
yes.
is driving slow because she's
Oh,
nervous about driving. And it's like, don't yell at
don't
her.
yell.
Don't beep
I
at
know.
her.
Don't
Right.
be mean.
Yeah.
Don't, yeah,
You don't
just be
know what's going on
nice.
in somebody's head. I'll never forget when, oh man, when Hunter was sick and it was it was when he was really bad, really sick. And I was out, I took Tika, my dog,
Mm.
outside to go to the bathroom. And she was really good. She would just run off into the woods, go to the bathroom, and run back. And well, this one particular day, this woman who never, I've never even seen her around the condo before, was walking her little dog, her little Jack Russell Terrier, that I am not even joking, had like this plaid coat on with the collar up, the
They're
dog
asshole
I'm
dogs
talking
anyway.
about.
Okay, go ahead.
And Tika, of course, went running up to this dog to be like, hey, hey. And the dog was not very receptive. And so they started not to scuffle. The other dog was just like, "Arr!" And so she panicked, picked the dog up, started screaming at me because my dog was not on a leash. And she was just like, "You better hope that nothing she didn't do anything to my dog because we're leaving for Florida tomorrow."
Oh,
And I looked right at her and I go, "Lady, my son is in the hospital right now with cancer, and I don't know if he's going to live for the next week. So I don't really give a fuck
that's
about your
awesome,
little
Deb.
Good
Jack
for
Russell
you.
dog."
Yeah.
I was everything that I was feeling just came right out, and she was so pissed. She
She
was like,
got
"That's unexcusable." And I was like, "I don't even care."
She's a horrible person.
She would no, and then come to find out that and I didn't like that didn't feel good to me because
It
Yeah.
doesn't feel
that
good.
wasn't
It
Yeah.
doesn't feel
fair.
good because, it's basically you're like spewing your side of the story.
I was
Yeah.
just saying
And
it to
it's like
make
for
her
what?
feel like
Yeah.
shit. And
Make her
she
Ex
feel bad.
didn't.
so that's the thing. It's like you're telling your side of the story to make that narrator feel like shit.
Mhm.
And that never, ever has a good outcome.
No. And the bottom line was my dog was off a leash. I was wrong.
Mm.
So, but she yelled at me, and instead of me just being like, "I am so sorry, and if anything is wrong with your dog, please reach out," and walk away, I felt the
Mm.
need to unload all of my shit on her in hopes of just making her be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It did not work that way. Anyways, she ended up, my neighbors had this little itty bitty decrepit dog that was like literally so old and like arthritic and could barely
Oh,
walk. And this woman felt that dog, she saw it outside and she thought that the dog was being abused. And so she grabs the dog away from my neighbor
no.
and basically kidnaps the dog. They call the police. She's like, "I'm not letting this dog has not been fed in weeks." It had been fed, but it had chronic
Was
diarrhea. So it would
decrepit.
look like I mean, the poor thing really should have been put down, but these people love their dog. They wanted it. And this lady was just a nut. She was like the nutcase in the condo complex. But anyways, my point is, I don't even know what my point is, but when
Well, so you were trying to control the narrative with this woman.
mm,
You were trying to
Mm.
deflect and control the narrative so she would feel bad
mhm.
and stop being an asshole.
I guess,
And
but
then
my own,
she
yeah,
tried to control the narrative with this dog
she
with
did.
all these assumptions. And long story short, all the way around the horn, it didn't turn out well for
Right.
anybody.
Yeah.
And my other point was you never know what somebody's going through, so just give them a
Yeah.
break.
We don't know what was
Yeah.
going on in her life either.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and she didn't know what was going on. It's like everybody's got a problem to deal with.
Right.
Let's just not yell at people. How
don't
about
yell at
that?
each other.
Let's not
Yeah.
yell or beep horns at people. It's very
Okay.
simple. Don't beep the horn and don't snap at people.
And it's like you said, Deb, when we're irritated, we got to look at ourselves.
Yes.
Why are we
Yeah.
irritated? And
There's something that we're not accepting that is happening inside of ourselves
Yeah.
or in our
yeah,
surroundings. And
I hate that.
acceptance is the answer to all of our problems. And it's
Mhm.
very true. Once you
Yeah.
accept a situation, you can
You have to,
let it flow
yeah,
through you.
exactly. You have to accept that you're going through it
Yeah.
and
Accept
not
that other
try
people have
and,
their own narratives. Accept that
right.
you can't control things. Acceptance,
Hmm.
acceptance, acceptance.
Well, I
Yeah.
accept that the time is up.
It is okay. And then I shall
Time.
accept that as well.
I'll accept your acceptance.
You'll
Acceptance.
accept my acceptance. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll
All
see
right.
you bright and early on Monday
Oh
morning,
my
girl.
God. It's like
What
the
time
middle
is
of the
that going to
night.
be for you
The
guys?
flight leaves at 6 a.m. and we have to park the cars and get there and get through security with all the TSA
Yes,
bullshit
you guys,
happening.
I want you there at 3 a.m. Okay. I'm not kidding.
Okay,
You're
It's
not
that's
flying.
not
Bradley.
happening.
I'll find out
But
Bradley. Okay,
It's
not
Bradley. I say like
I think
I
it'll be
four
fine. But
4:30 in
thank
the morning.
God we're not like Atlanta, who that we're flying through is
Rue.
a mess.
Yeah.
But thank God we decided, both of us, that we're just doing carry-on luggage.
Yep.
And all we have to do is get off the plane and get back on the plane. We don't have to go through any type of security, in Atlanta. So we should be fine
Yeah.
because the pilots work for the airlines. They don't work for the government. So I think we're
Mm,
good, as
okay.
do all the ticketing agents and the flight attendants. So
Yeah, it's just TSA and you'll
Godspeed.
And
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Sarasota is a small airport as well, so
It
we should be
is.
easy getting
Who
out
cares if
of
you
there.
have trouble getting out? You can stay here. I just need you guys here.
Oh, all
I
right.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. No glitches getting there.
No. All right. Love you guys.
All right.
Namaste to
Love you
Love you
guys.
everybody.
too.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.